Willst du bist der Tod Scheide, wo hinein für alle Tage.
Nein! Hi!
Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is our basic human right to be fucked up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Veritatis.
Hello, occultists, and welcome back to Occultae Veritatis podcast. My name is Leon Filger. I'm the host of the show, and sitting beside me...
Oh, it's Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie's here. It's in the house.
My name is Gio, and I know a bunch of these fools, and you're going to hear me complain about lots of things. It's good.
We're talking about Cunnilingus, which is hot, and it's hot in this room, so we're going to have something cold. I'm going to go downstairs to the fridge to get the poison.
What's your poison?
Alrighty, Leon, what are we drinking today?
Okay, so this is my favorite import beer from the Philippines. This is San Miguel. I'll read the bottle. It says San Miguel Pale Pilsen beer since 1890, imported beer, 5% alcoholic volume, 330 milliliters. I love it because it's in a stubby bottle, which is a vastly superior bottle to the long necks that we use for domestic beers in Canada, because it keeps it colder longer, which is delightful. This beer tastes a tiny little bit like sewage, the way I imagine Manila would taste. I've never been. I was almost in Manila once for a Filipino wedding, and I was going there to sing karaoke and get laid. And then I decided that I wanted to keep my job instead. That's sort of the end of the story. Anyway, I love this beer. I'm rating it 17 upper clitoral hoods.
Oh, goody.
Carry on.
Out of well-earned, well-deserved after a lifetime of putting out vasectomy.
Dude, I speak not only on behalf of myself, the host, and the audience, but I think it goes without saying, we fucking, of the many things we missed, your ratings was near the top of the list.
I was just about to chime in and be like, I miss these ratings so much. They make no sense and I love all of it.
It's good to have you back in my ears, my dude.
Thanks. It's great to be back. And yeah, so I was just going to jump in and say, this is my first show back after, 25 away?
Yep.
I've been in the hospital for a while. I've been quite ill, doing better now. Mm-hmm. And so I'm returning to the show, and this special, all about Cunnilingus, is sort of me dipping my toes back in the pool, getting back into the swing of the podcast. And then if this goes well, I'm going to be doing an episode on left-handers, and the brain science behind being left-handed, as well as space telescopes. So there's another nerd episode if that's the kind of thing you're into. And then there's a killer nurse in Ontario named Elizabeth Wetlaufer who murdered a bunch of her patients in long-term care. And I'll also be covering that story. So
I just watched her interrogation the other night. I just played Fallout, and I put that on in the background, and Lord, is she happy and excited about killing those people.
Oh, yeah, she's right out to lunch. Ood, what do you rate this?
It's cold on a hot day, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good.
It does remind me of Red Stripe. It has that same taste to me, but like you say, a little more sewagey.
Yeah, a little more sewagey.
But I don't hate it. It's sewagey in a good way.
Yeah.
Like when you're driving down a street in Saskatoon next to the cow barn, and you're just like, Ah, cow shit. Delicious.
Gio, what do you think about this?
The beer or Civilization?
The beer.
Because there's this game. It's called Civilization. I'm going to start kitchen shit for this immediately because it tastes like a less offensive Pilsner. And I know how much this province love its pill, so...
No, I hate Pilsner.
I'm more like crafty type beers. It's either like a straight up IPA, so I really want that hops, or I'm more into like the malty, like the Guinness and the chocolate stouts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Course Banquet is delicious.
Oh, I thought you said Corpse Mango, and I'm like, I don't think I've had that one.
Oh, it's a new band. 5.7.
And remember, you don't have to say to a base 10 system.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I think I would definitely go like, let's say a B out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
Give a hexadecimal rating on it.
Sure. Now, the question, my friends, is that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of us drinking, and there are 6 beers in the case. Who gets those 2 remaining beers?
Well, who's most willing to butt chug them?
I'm not putting one in my ass.
There is still currently a tab of acid in my ass, although it should be like, not effective anymore. Plus, I already took the ground mushrooms that has been offered to all of you, so I'm ahead of the game, so you guys go hard.
Okay.
If there's one left over, I'll drink.
I think Ood and I'll have a fist fight. That'll be about it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's get into this episode.
Hello, this is Sage Murray. I'm going to be reading some responses to how you lovely folks like your Cunnilingus. First one. I like to be gently licked up and down my inner labia and circling around my clit, then slowly transition into sucking on my clit with more and more pressure until I come. I like a gentle build-up but a rough finish. Alright, next one. Not fast, not aggressively. It seems some partners think that if they act as if their desire for their partner is so great they can hardly contain themselves, that will make it more pleasurable. In my experience, that has never been the case. That makes me feel rushed. I can't actually focus on the sensation when that's happening. Clits are extremely sensitive. Starting out slow and light builds the sensation. Once you have built up the tension and desire, at that point, slipping a finger into the vagina and continuing to go at that pace is preferable. You don't need to start jackhammering the person or acting like you have a coin stuck on a pinball machine. In my experience, once you've done it to the point of completion, there's no way you would have any question on whether or not there was a climax, because the sensation would become too great to allow your head to continue to occupy the space between my legs. Also, please don't suck hard. I don't want to feel like I'm getting my labia lips ripped off. That's definitely fair. Next. First, I like him to start with long, slow licks, then move into faster, short flicks of the tongue on my clit. I do enjoy sucking and nibbling on the clit as well. Never use your fingers to try to get me to come faster. That's cheating. If you're not doing it right, I will tell you, and if you are, I may wrap my hands around his face and start grinding on his face. Also, once I come, it's not over. Clean it up. You help make the mess. If I'm with a new partner, I always ask what they like. It makes it more enjoyable. Hail Val. Love you guys. Those all sound amazing. I'm maybe a little horny right now. Okay, love you, bye.
So, cunnilingus is an oral sex act performed by a person on the vulva or vagina of another person. The clitoris is the most sexually sensitive part of the genitalia, and its stimulation may result in a woman becoming sexually aroused or achieving orgasm. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, why are we talking about that today? Well, there was a conversation that took place between me and Charlie a few days ago, and it went roughly like this. And jump in here if I get any details wrong. So I had said,
you asked me like what is one like good tip about like I don't remember if you actually just straight up said cunnilingus or if you said something.
I think I said cunnilingus.
Yeah, you asked me like a one like really good tip on on it, and so I kind of I was pretty quick about it because I knew, right? Like and that was for me personally. I don't know about like everybody else, but I'm in a lot of like girl groups on YouTube, on Facebook, and they all kind of feel similarly, so I have a feeling I'm not totally wrong.
Okay, so the statement was, and I had said that clit is the king, right? That's what you're going for when you're performing Cunnilingus. And this is something that I have believed from the first time I performed oral sex on a woman when I was 21 until a couple of months ago. I've always believed this, and you shook me to my core by suggesting that maybe that was not, in fact, the most important part all the time.
Right, exactly.
I think it's very easy to form that misconception. Like when you watch a lot of like mainstream porn and stuff, like they focus on the clit like it's the wonder button. Like it seems that I don't know if I consume enough to have like an informed opinion, but it seems like it's gotten a little better, but they still kind of just like dive for the clit and stay there until they start fucking.
Well, no, like hold on, like I don't want to say I'm going like straight diving for the clit. I'm all about like kissing the inside of the legs, working my way slowly forward, making things romantic if there's time for that sort of thing to take place. Mm-hmm. But honestly, what my impression had been is that you just sort of lock onto the clit with gentle suction and just apply pressure to it with your tongue up and down. That was, and so for thousands of times I've done that, and thousands of times it seems to have produced some sort of favorable or fabricated result. So now here I'm stuck in this twilight zone of not knowing if I'm actually good at giving oral or not.
Cunnilingus rut?
A cunnilingus rut, exactly.
Well, also, one thing that I had mentioned too is that like misconception also stems from the fact that a lot of women orgasm from clitoris like stimuli. Yeah. and so like, but to me personally, like that's mostly when it's like super like a vibrator or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would have to be like something like that, and that would probably actually like make me orgasm. Whereas like if it's just the tongue, there's no way it's gonna go as fast as a vibrator. So it kind of gets like overly monotonous, and then it starts to almost get numb. Yep. And yeah.
Geo is, hold on.
I have a vagina.
We have a couple of vagina owners here.
Yeah.
So
I prefer something else, but I'm stuck with it. It's good. Or like it's not worth the hassle. Like until I can get like a really good like cock out of the deal, I ain't gonna go for the surgery downstairs at least.
I tell you, 3D printed cocks are on the horizon.
Yeah. Well, I gotta start wearing my like what do you call it, prosthetic? Like what do you even call it? You bought it. What is it?
It's a prosthetic. Yeah.
It's your cock.
It's your cock.
Yeah. I gotta get used to wearing that before I'd even like consider like might as well go through the motions.
Yeah, your cock's expensive too.
For those of you listening, it's a nice cock.
It is a very nice cock.
Yeah, if it was on a shelf, I would strongly consider it. I'd rub my chin, be like, God, I mean, I might need to get that right now.
Okay, but then it can't go up my butt.
But anyways, to comment on the last thing there is like, yeah, monotonous movements, like it can literally numb it out. And if you go too, like, I find that if someone goes like too hard, too fast, and doesn't basically pace themselves into it, that I get like overstimulated and overexcited, and like it's gonna be damn near impossible for you to get me to come.
So don't tongue punch like a speedball is what you're saying so far.
Yeah, Charlie's nodding to this. Yeah, don't tongue punch like a speedball.
I mean, talking to the penis owners out there, would it be similar to like having a device that can do something that humans really aren't able to do and can make you come? If a human partner tries to replicate that, it just isn't the same.
As far as saying like suggesting that you would need, or like a vibrator would be useful for coming, would a very rapid back and forth tongue motion be a close enough facsimile of a vibrator to get the job done?
Can you make your tongue move?
There's no way you can make a tongue move fast enough to replicate a vibrator.
No. Like, I mean, I guess like you could test that out and see if like you could like hold a vibrator and then like mimic like the it's kind of hard. But like I don't know. I just don't think that it's something that can like legitimately be replicated. Like, I mean, I think if you go like really, really fast, that's fine. But, take breaks from the clit and then, move into like other, stuff.
What about actually like fucking the vaginal orifice with your tongue?
Yeah, I actually really like that. So like, yeah, definitely something like that. But you know, just kind of don't focus too much on the clit. And one of the other things though is that like for some reason, and I know a lot of girls do like this, and so I might just be an anomaly, but when a guy is licking the clit and he's like fingering you at the exact same time, I don't know if it's just me or that kind of hurts.
Oh.
Yep.
I think that might just be me.
If someone's playing with my clit, my pussy gets tighter. Like it just does. Like, you know. So like that makes sense to me.
And the majority of guys don't cut their nails right, don't clean out underneath, don't do the things that you should do. If you check out a lesbian's fingers as opposed to a man's fingers, a lesbian who is used to doing some fingering, they will always be cleaner.
I work in frontline healthcare. These nails are cut once a week, like these are the cleanest fucking nails, and I use a nail brush. I fucking nail brush on them. Cleanest fingernails ever.
But you don't do it because you're finger banging.
No, I do it because I get shit under them at work.
Literal shit.
Literal shit under my fingernails at work.
I would like to point out, we're talking about how a human tongue cannot really approximate a vibrator.
Yeah.
The Hitachi magic wand, everyone's favorite 500-year-old vibration attachment.
Yes. It was a back massager in the 70s.
On low speed, goes at 5,000 RPMs, 6,000 on high. If you can make your tongue vibrate at 5,000 RPM, you die. Your tongue falls off.
I've got another question for the vagina owners. And this actually, in doing research for this episode, I watched a lot of lesbian YouTube channels with lesbians giving straight guys tips on how to give oral, because it seemed logical to me that the lesbians would know what they're doing. I know it is, and the videos were so good, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
So there had been a general consensus among some of the lesbians in the lesbian YouTube video educational community that applying gentle suction to the clit whilst doing everything else would be a good idea.
As long as you don't overdo it.
Gentle suction.
Gentle suction.
Yeah, I like it.
Not Hoover suction.
Like the reason it was suggested is because the clit lives mostly inside, or so I'm told. There's only a little bit of it that pokes out.
Yeah.
And so if you want to access more of it, to stimulate more of it, if you apply gentle suction to it, you can pull a little bit more of it out and get access to more of it.
Yeah, plus you'd be drawing blood to the surface, and or you just get like you or the lady or not necessarily lady, the vagina haver to spread their lips for you.
Well, I can understand how it can be that sensitive. Like I can only compare it to things I know, and I'm circumcised, so like I know the head of my dick has become desensitized to time just from being circumcised, and I know that penis owners who aren't circumcised, the head of their dicks are more sensitive because a lot of the times it's covered up and protected from the elements, and I can't imagine that the clit would be any different. Like it's hidden in the clitoral hood for most of the time, and to go from zero simulation being protected by the body itself to all of a sudden having like a bunch of pressure or a bunch of movement being applied to it, I could see how that'd be overwhelming.
Well, and
I've had my dick sucked after I've come and had that like whoa tingly way too much sensation, and if it's anything approximately of that, then I can understand.
Well, and that's an apt comparison too, because biologically speaking, they're analogs. Like they come from the same structures. So the clitoral hood is the foreskin just for a person who has a vagina as opposed to someone who has a penis. So it's same shit, different configuration.
Yep. Yeah, same shit, different configuration.
That's fine. Yeah, gentle suction is fine. Over suction, I mean, it's like. Let's be real here. Like, if a guy was like really getting like a real proper, like an actual sucking, like where the girl was just like honestly just kind of pulling the dick into her mouth with her
detectable on a multimeter. Yeah,
it would feel awkward, and like I mean, it can be too much. If it's done for too long, or if it can be too much, if there's just too much suction, it doesn't feel good. It's almost painful again. Like that whole area is so sensitive, and you have to treat it like I heard somewhere that you need to treat that area like a butterfly. You know, like you have to kind of like handle it with care because like it's fragile.
Crunch, crunch, om nom, tasty butterfly.
Oh no, it kind of looks like one too, and
I get
spread the legs the legs apart.
If you're too rough with the butterfly, you can knock the scales off its wings, and you don't want to do that. I don't know. I see finding out your partner, what your partner likes, is like finding out your partner's like, I don't know, favorite takeout order or favorite musical or whatever. Like it's all about finding out what works for them. Like I get like panels of like I guess people coming together and kind of debating like what should be done with vaginas and all that, but I think it should be like really personalized. Like I don't think.
Okay, I've got a question for you based on that, and this just popped into my head here. Yeah. So there's nothing better in the world than having a long-term partner and figuring out exactly how they like their pussy eaten, right? Yes. Like if you can figure out exactly what gets them off and makes them tick, you've won the jackpot, and you should keep doing that. But for one night stands, what's the strategy going into that?
Oh, okay.
What are the rules if she says, yep, go down on me, and it's a one night stand and you've never seen her vagina before, you've never done anything to her before, what do you do? What are the basic tips for success? It's not been time ahead of time to ask your partner because I'll still do the one night stand where it'll be, okay, it's time to go down on her, and I'll say, tell me how you like it. Tell me what you like.
Yeah.
And like, fucking better give me some fucking instructions here, because I don't need a reputation.
Well, and I think what it comes down to is if you say, what do you like? And they're like, you don't know how to eat pussy? Then I guess you're not going to get very good head that night, are you, vagina haver? Like, it's sex is a two-way street. It's never a partner doing a sex on another person. That's a different thing that is less acceptable.
I guess playing devil's advocate on that, like, I'm not sure. A lot of people are kind of insecure about talking that stuff, especially with somebody new. Like, strangely enough, sometimes it's easier to sleep with someone new than it is to talk about, like, your insecurities with someone new. For some reason, going into your insecurities can sometimes feel even more vulnerable. So, like, I'm not sure if everyone, like, would have a little, like, you know, elevator pitch for this is what my pussy likes. And I think, like, maybe a tip for the listeners out there is, like, if you're dating or if you're expecting a new partner, maybe think about a little like, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, so you can have like a quick little conversation with new partners.
If you're willing to have somebody's disgusting mouth all over your favorite bits, or maybe least favorite bits, you should probably also be willing that night to say, I don't really like it when you do that. Focus on this. Or could you try this?
There's also the whole, oh, by the way, I'm on antidepressants, so sometimes I have trouble getting off.
Yep.
So if you get tired of sucking my dick and you don't want to do it anymore, just quit and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
That's because because it gets to a point where I know you're wasting your time. It's not going to happen. You know I'm wasting your time. Let's just all let's just cuddle.
The sandy hand job behind the CVS where no one's having fun. You're not excited. They're not excited. You're both frowning. You might come. It's not going to be a good time. Just move on. Move on with your life and or foreskin if you have one.
On the one night stand situation here, I gotta say, like, I am a bit of a sucker, like, when the person knows or when they're kind of good at it. Like, one of the last people I got head from, they didn't even take my pants off. Like, they were, it was really good. And there's like I don't know if anyone like makes fun of the ABCs, but like that's serious, man. Like, try tracing the alphabet and the numbers that make them jump. Keep doing those letters, or letters that keep making them jump. Keep doing those letters, because just with me is like I don't vibrators numb me out kind of too quick. So like the only I can go pretty fast, like flicking my bean, but like certain sides of the clit are like more likely to get me off than others, and like sometimes during sex that switches. So it's like like if you were like hitting the right side, it'd be like gold mine, and suddenly that like flips. Oh, and just the whole like if anyone's like there's lots of people like me, you might not necessarily come first time with a new partner. That takes like trust and stuff.
Or ever, like I've had partners who I've never come for the entire time. And it was like no lack of trust or love or anything. It's just like I was still having a good time, but I still needed to finish myself at the end. And it was like
I had someone not call me back because they came buckets and I didn't once. And not because I wasn't having fun or a good time or any of these things, just because it wasn't going to happen that night.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, a lot of people in this chat are mentally on medications. I think we're all ringing the same bell. And like, I can add my voice to that. Like, I've been on antidepressants for a few years now. And like, when I'm with a new partner, I usually just have to have that conversation. Like, it takes me a long time to come, if ever. Like, just because of the effects of the medication. And like, I think that's also like an important point to hit. Like, I believe like being a generous like partner is important. Like caring about your partner's pleasure is important. But on the other hand, like, what do you guys think about treating orgasms like finish lines or accomplishments or goals? Because that's a problem. That's something I have a problem with. Like, even people that tell me beforehand, like that say like it's really hard for me to come with vaginal sex. I still try, and I still feel bad afterwards because I didn't hit that like arbitrary goal that'll like reinforce my like masculinity and all that.
The
shit.
gold standard in society is a straight man giving a straight woman an orgasm with his penis alone, and that never fucking happens.
Yeah.
No,
ever. It's not a thing, is it? It's not a thing.
No, like barely.
It's barely a thing.
Well, like, let's ask our pussy haver. What do you think about like having like, I guess both male and female orgasms as the goal? Like, and like, to what degree do you have like responsibility over like your partner's like pleasure and stuff like that?
If you're worried about that, I would say kind of just like pay attention to like sounds, movement. There may be a moment when she kind of makes a weird sound, like kind of like that, like it kind of like and that's usually a sign of like that's not right. You know what I mean? And just pay attention to like the little body language like signs that she's kind of given you, especially if she starts like gyrating like in that moment. Yeah. That's a good sign right there.
If she starts growling and things are coming out of her mouth, probably stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah. As far as what was the other question again?
The finish line of orgasm.
I would say the big thing is like for me, I have a really, really hard time getting to that point, just because I'm a cam model, so like I have a tendency of like, you know, doing that a lot, like every night, a lot of times. So if I'm being perfectly honest with you, sometimes like I do kind of have to like not fake it, but just sort of
play it up a bit.
Play it up a little bit, yeah. Like I mean,
a little
not
artistic license.
Not to a point where it's like obvious, but yeah. But as far as like the other, like getting him to finish, that's not overly important because I mean, it's important, like if it needs to be. But that's like if that's what he wants. Mm-hmm. But if he's struggling, I'm not going to take offense to it because like I've been with lots of guys who say that they can't finish when they're either being like getting their dick sucked or like they're getting a hand job, or like having sex like with a condom on, like they can only have sex like and actually like finish without one. And the thing is like I'm not on birth control or anything like that, and I also don't want an STI or anything like that, so I'm not usually a big fan of that either. So yeah, I you know, if they can't finish, they can't finish, and I'm not just gonna be like, oh well, in that case, yeah, just like risk my health and safety like so that you can finish. I'm not cool with that. So but yeah, like if they can't, then like, and if they tell me, like sometimes I'll even ask them, I'll be like, oh, are you okay? If it's been a while and I'm getting kind of tired, like I'll be like, are you okay? And they'll actually like be like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm getting tired, or oh, like, yeah, like I usually can't I can't finish like with when it's like something like this. Or they'll tell me like, yeah, like I jerked off earlier or something like that. They'll tell me like, they're pretty honest. Like, I mean, I think that if you're honest, then they're honest. Oh, and one other thing, going back to the one night stands, I mean, maybe this is just me again, like, but I don't know a lot of girls that actually really like being asked how they like it. They usually do just like.
Fuckers do just want us to know.
You
expect us to know. Here's this.
No, it's not an expectation, but it's like an added bonus. Like,
okay,
not
wait.
having
Okay, I've got a question for you then, a follow-up for this one. This is very important. After the fact, is it okay for your partner to ask you, how is that for you? Is there anything I could have done better or changed? Can you ask for constructive feedback after the fact? Because listen, wait a second here. This is anonymous. My second wife, and my second wife was like this. Every time I would finish a sexual act with her, I would ask her, how is that for you? Because I thought I was being a gentleman and asking that, and that I would get feedback and we could improve things in the future. And it ended up being one of the causes of the ending of our marriage. Was like, she was so fucking sick of me asking how it was for her instead of just fucking doing it and being done.
That's because it kind of sounds like you're taking like a survey or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, or like, you know, like when you get off the phone with like customer service and they ask you to like give your feedback, and like that just comes off a little too like it's not. This wasn't based off of like emotion or love or care or anything. Like, it may sound like, you may think it sounds like you care because you're asking, but in the heat of the moment, it just kind of it comes off probably not how you think it is.
So,
do you know what I mean?
I would say, like, if you ask every time, it seems like standardized and planned. Like, I think asking questions in the moment shows more empathy and like more that you're paying attention. Like, instead of asking like, how was that for you? Like, you can say like, oh, hey, when I flipped you over doggy and like you froze and held your breath for a second. Like, did I hurt you there?
You started sobbing. I don't know what that's all about.
And she was like, no, I just like you just stepped on my hair for a second. It was fine. And all that. Like, you can ask specific questions about what happened. I think the generality and like the regularness of it is what made it seem like impersonal.
I just ate you out. If you have feedback, press 1.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed your experience, press 2.
That's what my problem was. I think that was
you literally set up a phone for them, like, please press 1.
Well, but I mean, it came from a good place.
Yeah, it did.
It was me like legitimately wanting to improve my services.
So no, it's just like, if you can get away without asking, it's a huge bonus. But like, asking before and like, you know, working with a person and still like reaching orgasm, that's pretty special. And yeah, it's like, it's nice. I had one like very consent forward partner, like checked in like repeatedly during like the act. And it was really cute, actually. Just like, yeah, it was like that wasn't necessarily asking for pointers, but yeah, I kept making sure like I was having a good time. And I guess 100% after, if it's also like immediately after when you just want to like cuddle and possibly pass out, maybe not the best, but like, I don't know, it was like I would almost hit him with it like unexpectedly, like the next day kind of thing. So just like you get that flush from them again because they think about it.
Yeah. I wonder what that divide is. Like, when I think of a partner asking like, how would you like your dick sucked? Like, that sounds hot as fuck to me. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's a personal thing with me. I don't know if other penis owners share that opinion.
I hate it because I don't know how to describe how to suck my dick. Because as a bisexual man, like I've got like dick sucking skills that are pretty solid and have like been relatively well reviewed by the dicks that I've sucked. And so trying to then describe it to someone how I want it done is like, just, well, do it the way I would do it.
But do any of us really want like a manual afterwards of like, oh, what I actually want you to do is lift my clitoral hood a little bit and angle it 15 degrees to the left while tongue punching the left side twice, then the right side once. What we want is, it's not, hey, how do you like, how could I suck your dick better? It would be, well, next time, let me show you, let me move you around, let me help you help me kind of thing.
And like, I guess I should add, like, I'm coming at this from like also a kink perspective, because in a lot of kink scenarios, and with some of my kink partners, like having a pre-discussion and then having like a discussion afterwards is a regular habit. Like that's a regular course of action in a lot of the kink community. So like maybe that doesn't translate into like people who are mostly vanilla. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I've actually had guys ask me or like tell me, let me know if there's anything that you like, if there's anything you want me to do, like in the moment. So like, I mean, that's nice too. Like in the moment where they're like, oh, just let me like, but like as they're in the moment. So it's not like they like kind of like stopped everything and just kind of like ruined like that, you know, the momentum of everything that's happening. But they'll say like, you know, whilst they're down there, like they'll just be like, they'll kind of whisper but like loud enough that I can hear. They'll say like, let me know if there's anything that you want me to do, let me know if there's anything you want me to stop. Like they'll straight up like just and I like that. See, that's okay to me. Like I don't mind that. And then usually like if you know, if there is a next time, then they kind of, you know, then they know what I'm into, and that's thumbs up.
Yeah, I get that, and also I think something that might add to that, Leon, is like basking in the afterglow is kind of nice, and like I don't know, like waiting for that to pass and then asking might also be good, and like doing it in the heat of the moment where it seems natural, it doesn't like break up the mood like breaking up like the afterglow would, you know. I guess like there's some value. Like people like feeling seduced. People like feeling titillated. So like bringing up a discussion on likes and dislikes might break that like seductive mood, and like discussing like right afterwards what you liked and disliked might break up like the afterglow as well.
And I wonder if it has to do with and I'm just gonna call it the straight vanilla side. Where sex is very transactional, right? It is something that two people do as an activity, and then they stop, and that is it. And they never talk about it until they're trying to get it again. Whereas, like, if I want tips or pointers, it's not because I want to be better at doing a sex on them. It's because I want them to feel better with what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's part of that, like, and I think the kink community has it down, like, what went right, what went wrong, in a way that I can better please you or make you feel better, not so that I do good sex better.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a healthy way to view sex, but I almost view it as competitive. And the way to win the game is to make your partner feel as good and as wanted and as erotic, like, as possible. Like, you want to make them feel as fulfilled sexually as possible. Like, I think
that's a fine way to look at it. I don't think there's anything wrong with viewing it like that.
If your partner also views it like that.
If your partner, because it sucks when you got a partner who doesn't give a fuck.
And that view might be just like soaked in toxic masculinity, because you guys know my past, so who knows, you know?
Oh, the importance of climaxing or not. Like the chances of someone getting me off first time, near impossible. Even after that, like it really depends. So I've spent like the last 5 years in the swinging scene as well. So it's just like I never expect a climax. I'm having a wonderful time regardless. And then like when the only like issues I run into when penis havers have that issue coming is like it's usually because like there's either alcohol or a bit of like chasing the dragon, and either way like you're relaxed, and so it was nice to cuddle or like massage and stuff. Like it was so cool. Fuck, man. Even like, just in the swinging communities, like apparently I'm kind of intimidating. I'm what they call a unicorn, an unattached female. I get in for discounts, you know, stuff like that. And so sometimes guys like can't get it up, and it's just like, oh man. But and it's cool. They usually get embarrassed, and it's just like I just try to help them like ease their way through that.
That's a weird place to be in too, because sometimes every single part of you except your dick wants to go, but it just isn't.
Yep.
Well, no, entirely, and especially if it's your first time at a club, like, man, like, and you're not used to performing in front of people. One of the worst things, though, about being difficult to get off when you're in like a swinging club is you have like it's good and it's bad, but you have like, you know, like 5 or 6 people trying to get you off.
I paid for a hotel to the city. I paid for parking. I bought a new suit. Now my dick won't work. Son of a bitch.
Well, I take that much. Club Oasis in Toronto, call out, man. I hope you guys are doing well in COVID times. That is like fucking 365, like naked for the full facility.
Oh yeah, pour one out for those poor poly folks that are like, having multiple partners is certainly limited in times like these.
Well, and that, like what you're saying about the club and everything else, that would come back to that competitive nature that people have. Because I imagine
I can get that person off. Oh yeah, they them, by the way, for Geo.
And a bunch of people sitting there watching someone trying to get someone off, and that guy failed, and that guy failed, and that guy failed. And if your thought is, well, if they failed, I can't do it, then you're not going to perform well. And if your thought is, I am the man, I will make that vagina quiver, then you're probably also not going to fuck well because you're way too overconfident.
No, you still get fucked well, but it's like they're like focused on my orgasm, and I'm just having a good time.
There's got to be a Dunning-Kruger effect with eating pussy too, right? Like as soon as you learn a little bit, you think you mastered everything.
Quick call out to antidepressants, because I've been on a few, and one of them completely destroyed my ability to orgasm in orgasmia, and 2, the other one destroyed my libido. I was just never horny.
Yeah. Oh, I know I didn't do any research for this, but I did watch this video a while back. Janet Mason, the porn star, put out a video on how to eat pussy, and she does like a medical level like deconstruction of the vagina and everything and all the variations of different people would like and ways to approach things, and she does a very thorough job. Like a lot of sex workers out there have done some really good work to put some like good sex education out there. And like they have more expertise and more like responsible messaging than we might. So feel free to like look those things up.
It's like Action Canada too, I think, is a good one to call out because they're trying to get sexual health in schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Google it and don't go to Pornhub.
Yeah, don't go to Pornhub. So I'd like to
wait.
Where else do I find like a fleshlight ring tripod guy?
Where else am I going to find someone eating a pussy for 2?
There's a camera stand. He's just going away.
Where else am I going to find someone eating a pussy for 2.5 hours and the woman orgasms and squirts 15 times? That's what sex is like, right?
Part of the acting.
Christ, and my jaw tires out after 20. Christ, that guy's a.
Oh, I actually broke one of my ex's tongues. Like, we did it together, but, like, he was because he was trying to, like, do the same motion over and over, and he had his tongue so extended that he actually fucking cut that little thing that holds your tongue there.
Yeah, I know somebody that had that same part in their tongue ripped when they were face fucked too hard.
There is the Discord where Mr. Leon Filger asked about people's tips, and there are some interesting suggestions.
Okay, so I did ask for tips as part of research for the fucking episode, so why don't you go ahead and read them, asshole?
And then we'll give our tips.
Don't just dive for the clit, tease the whole vulva from Suzy Q, which I think we've covered fairly well here. Some
call the vulva a little squirt and like throw rocks at it.
They also mentioned that no 2 pussies are exactly alike. Sensitivity levels vary, which we have covered nicely here. Someone here says that doing Gregorian chants through a bullhorn directly at the pussy until it submits, that's good. Thank you. Who's that? Oud Gallifrey?
You want to show that pussy who's boss, and Gregorian chants are scientifically the most masculine noise. I'm not a scientist, but I have watched all the seasons of Dexter Laboratories. So.
Lee Lowenstitch talks about how, like, operating the clitoris is an interesting thing.
Operating the clitoris like a forklift or ACV.
Yeah, exactly. You just operate the clitoris. I know it's clitoris. I just make the joke. I'm sorry, everyone. But the importance of foreplay. Nibble the thighs. Lick the nipples. Smack the side. I don't know how foreplay works. someone else says, sit in an adjacent room and vibrate sounds at the vagina haver until they spontaneously orgasm. That's always a good way. Sephi did point one thing out that I found was really good. 100% of my partners say they will, and they never do it.
No.
They say, I will eat their pussy, and then don't eat the pussy.
That's so sad.
That's when you go, oh, well, we established this relationship on a lie right to begin with, so I guess it's over.
What if you get down there and the smell is so atrocious you just like can't hold your lunch down?
Tell them.
Have
Say, I'm sorry.
Just be as kind as you can, because we're all sensitive about that.
Because it's happened to me twice where I just like I physically couldn't stomach it.
This is probably going to be way too graphic, so feel free to cut it. But
no, it's not getting cut. Not from this episode, damn it.
My very first female partner.
Oh, not this.
Did not know.
Woo.
And like, I ate they pussy the first time, and like I knew pussy was supposed to taste not so great the first time until you get used to it, but like it tasted like shit. Because they didn't know that you should probably wipe from the vagina to the top of the ass crack, not from the as far back as you can reach, and smear all of your shit into your vagina.
Oh, no, they wiped back to front. That's rookie mistake.
You know, they got a lot of yeast infections too. Like, that was just a thing that they didn't know.
Which is also, like, a decent, like sign to just tell your person, because, like, that might be it. Like, you never know.
Well, and that was the thing, is, like, when I realized what was going on, I asked them, I was like, so yeah, essentially it's like, okay, you wipe back to front, you're getting shit inside your vagina. Like, that's a health issue. Also, I won't eat that until you stop it.
Yep. Which is why I advocate for early and thorough sex education in schools. Because if people aren't learning how to take care of themselves at home, then they should be learning somewhere. And it's tragic that woman had to like go through that and have so many like medical problems because she wasn't educated properly on how to take care of herself. And that's not something you just divine from the universe. That's something you have to be taught from somebody.
Yeah. I won't let someone go down on me unless I've showered within the last 6 hours. That's
yes.
And it, unless it's a really sweaty day, then it's like 4 hours tops. And if I've pooped, there's no blowjob happening. I'm off. That's it. There needs to be a shower after the poop before there's going to be a blowjob. Even if it was a clean shit with like a one wipe wonder, no problem. If I pooped, my dick's not getting sucked. That's it.
No, I have to feel hygienic, or I'm never going to come. I'm always going to be like, oh, I just have stank dick, and no.
I was literally just like, I was pointing at Leon, and I'm like, I get it, because that's legit me. Like I get like. If I'm gonna go out with somebody, like whether it's a first time meeting or whatever, I have to take a specific front and back like cleanse area, not douchey, but like in the shower, just like
wipes and stuff, at least, like Jesus,
clean that out, like that area out like really really well, like. I'll like get in the shower and like I'll just like bend over and like spread the cheeks and like have the water going down. But the thing
is, gone. I'm sad.
But the thing is like if like exactly what he just said. Like if I've taken any like amount of a dump, I don't care like if it's big or small.
100%.
I will not. Like I'm just like if they start like heading down that direction, I'll be like.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm also like warning the motherfuckers, and they still do it sometimes. It's like, okay, it's all you.
But like, and also like, if I know my period is coming, I usually like, because I get like really, really insecure, like, and like kind of anxious about that sometimes. That like maybe like are getting closer to that time, the smell isn't gonna be like the same, or the taste isn't gonna be the same. So I get really, really like self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
Just tell us.
Yeah, and usually I will. I'll be like, I don't feel overly confident in like what's gonna happen if you're down there. Like, I don't want to be responsible for.
Nothing that makes me prouder than looking in the medicine chest mirror after I've gone down on her and seen blood smeared from ear to ear, where I'm like, yeah, I fucking did that. That's right.
Yeah.
Sparta.
Yeah. Then you put it on the gram, and yeah.
See, I've never got my
Saturday night's all right for free.
I've never got my blood wings, as some kids would call them, because
my wings. I remember being 16.
Right? I'm still 16 years old.
Me too, man.
because none of my partners
Any
wanted
man
that.
can swim in the Red Sea. It takes a real man to drink from it.
I would say
Yeah, it's salty AF.
do what you're comfortable with.
Too much iron.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't. Nah, that's not a fair comparison. But like, I guess to round about to like, I guess the comments again. Like, all things being equal to our Discord members, if somebody says they're going to reciprocate and then they continually don't, I mean, it sounds like you started a relationship with a dishonest person. You don't want to build, a foundation on sand. You want to be with somebody who's going to care about your pleasure as much as you care about theirs. So I would say, like, I would say that's a red flag off the bat. And I don't know, my usual recommendation is one red flag is enough to bamboozle. Should we go around the circle? If we eat the puss, we can describe how, like, I guess we tackle it. If all things being equal with a one night stand, like, what we would do.
God.
If we if we like having our pussies eaten, then we can describe some of the things we like. And Arthur Tallis, you can say whatever you want about your dick. You have time to talk about your dick.
I don't actually want to talk about my dick. I want to talk about my very small amount of experience with vaginas.
Okay, good.
I'm a terrible bisexual because I have eaten like 2 pussies and sucked copious dick. So anyway,
and how?
But I will say that the alphabet is my go-to because it's just like they're interesting shapes and patterns and things, and like you say, there's 26 of them. If you know the Cyrillic alphabet, there's 32 more. And if you can get, like you say, if you find the one, they really like that O, they really like that Q, they really like the M. It's like, well, you can cycle and spell mom, you can spell mcmoom,
Switch to different letters, start over again.
Yeah, it stops. Try the F. Ooh, F's are interesting. The little top of the clit, little middle of the clit, down the left side. Like, hey, it's all good. And if you get through the whole thing and they are stone faced, nothing going on, and they've dried up like the Sahara.
Flicking your head try flicking your tongue as fast as you can. I don't know.
Yeah, vibrate, ululate at them, go into the other room and just go until they come. Yeah.
My takeaway is look for the subtle signs. Like be receptive. Try one thing. Observe. Try things. Observe. Try things. Observe. Because they're gonna give you signs, whether they know they're doing it or not. As long as you're paying attention, you're gonna get the signs, and you're gonna know what to do.
I saw the sign, and I ate that was so good.
Yeah, that's better than that.
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like on the same boat with Leon. Like, I don't have a lot of experience with vag stuff because I like boobs more than I'm more
boobs
of a...
are the great equalizer. I think. Most people like boobs.
Even the gays like boobs.
Yeah. They're like, okay, vagina, but I understand boobs. I mean, boobs are fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get because I have really bad OCD, so I don't know what that person's like hygiene is like down there, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure like a lot of people aren't gonna disclose like, oh yeah, by the way, like I pooped earlier today, just so you know, not to go too far back or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I will always say I pooped earlier today.
I wish everybody was that great, but like
just as like a first meeting, like, hello, my name's Leon, I pooped today.
Before we continue on intercourse, can I see your poop log, please?
Yeah, let's stop talking about the weather. Let's start talking about our bowel movements.
It was green because I ate so much spinach.
Yeah. Peeing red speeds,
I don't eat
it's okay.
vegetables. It's just the food coloring from the birthday cake. Who knew?
Oh man. But yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know the person's like how clean they are, and like, you know, a lot of people will maybe they look clean, but maybe deep inside they might like have a bladder infection or something like. Yeah, usually I don't spend a whole hell of a lot of time down there, and sometimes I'm gonna be honest, the couple of times that I have, because they're not really like, they don't always tend to look over, and you can't really see below like that top lip area. So sometimes instead of using my tongue, I'll actually use like my bottom lip, and or like I'll just do a lot of like kissy stuff and like maybe like a couple licks here and there. But then afterwards, I don't know why, but like I really want to brush my teeth. So like, yeah, like I said, I have really bad OCD. I can't help it. Okay.
As soon as you said I have really bad OCD the first time, I thought you were gonna say I like boobs, but only when they're perfectly symmetrical. If you have a freckle, I'm sorry.
I like boobs, not when they jiggle. Too much movement. Keep those boobs still.
No, fuck bras. Fuck bras.
Okay.
Okay, no particular order. If they're into being kissed, like during, like coming up and like kissing and then going back down, like waking right back down, that's the hottest shit, man.
Yes.
Like, yeah. I don't even know what to say about that one. Usually I have to ask if the guy is like okay with kissing after like I suck his cock, and sorry, not guy, penis haver. Oh no. Oh, okay, I put that down twice. Must be important.
It should always be okay. You've made a very important point. I would never want someone to suck my dick and then not kiss me, because if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. And to this, further to that, if in that kiss I end up with a mouthful of my own semen, so be it.
Let's remember a throwback to an earlier episode. Eating your own cum is feminist.
Yes.
So
it is. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, dipstick women.
Call back to our
vagina havers.
Avril Lavigne episode where we ate Leon's fucking cum.
Yeah.
I don't know new people new to the podcast. I don't know if you think that's a joke. It ain't. And we got plans for the future.
We did.
So you think you can sell
we
those?
baked a cake with my semen in it, and we all ate it.
Before COVID happened, I had somebody who was going to bake some like.
It was delicious. It was
I'm
delicious.
excited to try it, man.
You know that Harvest book has lots of other recipes.
It was such a good cake. It was
Lemon
the best
loaf.
cake ever.
I'll eat
It
your
was
cum,
so
man.
moist.
I'll eat your cum. That's how we know we're besties. Yeah.
Okay. Also on taste, your lifestyle and your diet is going to dictate largely what you taste like. Smoking doesn't help. Lots of drinking doesn't help. Like if you're eating good, like lots of fruits and vegetables, you're not eating a ton of grease and stuff, it's going to taste better. Pineapple actually does pack more punch, especially like if you know that you have like a week to see some or something like that. Start just like eating. I don't know. Like, I'm not no medical like health expert. I want to say like a pineapple a day, but yeah, exactly.
Eat 6 pineapples a day.
And if you're anything like me, you gotta fucking avoid kale. Like it just made me taste bitter, like entirely bitter. It was crazy.
And I think a good point to add, like if you don't like the taste of semen, like you're not obligated to swallow and taste and all that.
Okay, but let's talk about unobligatory tastes. I love when I'm able to get a woman to squirt. Like it's like a fucking honor, but like my gag reflex won't get past like basically the urea and stuff like that. Like it's piss. Yeah, I know. But like,
it's dilute piss.
I know. And like there's always still like I get a little embarrassed because like I gag. It's just like no. It's like it was just like when I was looking up to be how to be a porn star, I'd have to train the gag reflex out of me. So I was just thinking like maybe if I just like eat enough pussy and I make it squirt, then I'll just get used to it. Maybe.
That's how it's done. It's exposure therapy.
Yeah, that's my whole life.
Exposure. We want to talk about Nest?
Talk about Nest.
Is Nest like Las Vegas? I've only had 1 year at Nest. I was going to help plan Nest this year, but then the fucking world happened. 20. Anyways, go ahead.
Trying to get a certain partner of mine to release a piece of jewelry that they had swallowed because stimulants are a bastard. Well, I know what makes them gag.
No. I was just like man, I swallowed it, and then it's like I tried to cough, and then I tried to like gag a bit, put my fucking like finger back there, just dead, like nothing, like not even like like nothing at all.
Put my fingers, my fingers back there didn't work. You know what works usually to gag you?
Yeah.
Cock.
I got like face fucked and like nothing, not a thing.
Yeah, and just to show that there's all kinds of people in the world, like somebody I knew, like the point of her like sucking cock was to gag. Like she started to lose her gag reflex because gagging is what like did it for her. Like it made her come and all that, and she was starting like her throat was getting tougher and tougher, so it was getting harder and harder for her to gag and all that.
That'd be like a good exercise like as a couple essentially. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta be able to have talks because you want to be able to work out stuff like that. It's like okay, it's like you get to face fuck me, but it's like you gotta like we gotta really work with this because like you know it's training.
Yeah. Okay, who's left for closing arguments?
I don't know. Like I had this misconception as a young man too, and I think a lot of people still have this misconception. Like they think that like eating pussy is like driving a car, and like if you want it to go faster and to have more pleasure, you just gotta press that gas pedal down harder. You gotta go faster and press harder and, you know, be more aggressive. But it leads to like people just like jamming fingers and like hurting people and like not producing much pleasure at all. Like there's a lot of things you can do that can tease somebody to the point and like can pleasure them. Like if you can lick their clit for a while and then like bite around their thighs and then go back and just like breathe on their clit, and sometimes just like the change from like you licking to just your breath like makes them shiver and stuff like that. And like sometimes you want to get them to the point with your tongue, like licking their clit, or like, and then you want to change to something else, or you want to tease up to a point and then go back from it. Like it's like I said, it's like a fun game in my mind where you can like kind of bring them up the roller coaster and down the roller coaster. And like it's hard to give like general advice because each person is different. You got to find out what they like and what they love and what makes them come slowly and what makes them come quickly, and then like play with all those factors. Like make eating your partner out like a little game, a little adventure where like you see how much like pleasure you can give them, like how much you can make their eyes roll back. And like the more you learn about their pleasure and the more you switch things up and the more you experiment, like the more you just like learn about what they like. It sounds like a cop-out answer, but at the end of the day, it's all about empathy and communication. Like you gotta react to what they're doing and sense that they might not like something or that they like something, and then adjust your behavior, and also have open communication. And communication that doesn't make them feel like, that makes them feel heard. That you like ask questions in a way that makes them feel like you're actually listening, and that you have like things that you specifically want to ask them about. I don't know. I hope there was some lesson in that like blabber, but that's my thoughts on the matter.
I think there was.
Also, hands. You have hands.
Right.
Reach up, touch a boob. Touch like all over the thighs, and like one thing that really kind of seals the deal is like if you can get your arms around their thighs, and then you have like your hands right between like where your pelvis meets your leg, kind of thing. And you put a little pressure there. It's like that whole area is like tight to the muscles. Like it's all connected. So yeah, use your hands.
One final thing, vagina owners, do you prefer missionary or sitting on face?
I actually like a variety, so I want to keep it spicy. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again.
Oh, if I'm working with the parameters of your question, it's one or the other. And I prefer good missionary to any of the face running experiences I've had.
Yeah, I guess I would, if I had to choose, then yeah, I would definitely go missionary as well.
And I think we'll end it on that. For Occultae Veritatis podcast, my name is Leon Filger, along with
Ood Gallifrey,
Charlie,
Geo,
and Arthur Tallis.
Good night.
Bye. Eat pussy good.
And playing us out this episode, a little artist that we ran across on Twitter and agreed to have their music on our show. This is Wormhaven with their song Exuviate. Enjoy, and see you in the after show for a very special mushroom-filled message. Hello, OVPod people. I come to you today to ask a favor of you. There's a petition that exists in Canada that is attempting to decriminalize psilocybin, ayahuasca, several types of cacti, and other plants. The basic premise of this petition is, we think these plants may be able to help people, but we need the freedom to study them. And one of the first steps to having the freedom to study those effects and the effects of those plants on a person's health comes from decriminalizing them. So I ask you to go to decriminalizenature.ca and sign that petition. Hopefully, with enough public support, Canada can legalize these substances and these plants, and with some good old scientific rigor and research, maybe we can help people's health improve in any way we can. Just because they're sometimes fun to take in a party atmosphere does not mean they can't be used for serious health applications. Let's give these plants a chance. Once again, decriminalizenature.ca. Otherwise, you folks have a lovely evening, and I encourage you to take what you learned from this episode and have fun experimenting. Dive in shoulders deep. Have a good night, and have a good sleep. Ood out.